There once was a farmer named Jia, who lived in a small village in the mountains. Jia was a hard-working man who spent his days tending to his crops and livestock. He was content with his simple life and found joy in the small pleasures it brought him. One day, a great storm swept through the village, destroying Jia's crops and causing all of his livestock to run away. Jia was devastated. He had lost everything he had worked so hard for and was left with nothing. He became very frustrated and started crying. A Taoist master and his student were traveling through the village and saw Jia. They went to him and asked what had happened. After telling his story, Jia asked the master, "Do you think I will ever recover from this loss?" The master replied, "Maybe." Then the master said goodbye and went on his way with the student. Jia continued crying and cursing the storm. The student remained silent for the rest of the journey, but the master could tell that he was quite upset. The next day the master said to his student, "Let's go and visit Jia to see how he is doing now." As they approached Jia's house, they heard villagers gathered around his house, praising him and telling him how lucky he was, because his cows had come back, bringing along 5 more cows. They saw that Jia was still upset. He saw the master and his student and asked, "I'm happy that my cows are back, but all my crops are destroyed, and I can't feed them. Do you think my life will ever be as good as it was in the past?" The master calmly replied, "Maybe," and walked away. The student was quite confused, thinking why the master didn't tell Jia that things would be okay, to give him hope and motivation, but he didn't say anything. The next day, the student decided to go and talk to Jia and tell him that his life would be all right. As he approached the village, he heard that some villagers were very distressed and were talking about a horrible thing that had happened the previous night in the village. He heard that a group of bandits had come to the village the previous night and robbed villagers' houses and farms. The student thought to himself, this must have made Jia's life even more difficult. As he continued towards Jia's house, he heard people talking about how lucky Jia was, because the robbers saw his destroyed farm and thought he had nothing. So they didn't steal anything from him. We often have a tendency to label events in our lives as either good or bad, just like Jia in the story. But the reality is that we should trust the natural flow of our lives and let go of the need to narrow our experiences into rigid categories. As Lao Tzu said, the world is ruled by letting things take their course. It cannot be ruled by interfering. He believed that our attachments and desires were the root cause of suffering, and that by letting go of these attachments, we could find peace and contentment. Taoism teaches us letting go is not about giving up on our dreams or desires, but rather about finding balance and acceptance in the present moment. By letting go of our attachments, we can find freedom and live a life of joy and purpose. You might ask, but what about when suffering is not caused by our own desires and attachments, but rather by external circumstances beyond our control? In these cases, Taoism teaches us to accept what we cannot change and to find meaning in our suffering. This can be difficult, but it's about finding a way to suffer well. It's about cultivating resilience and finding a way to turn suffering into growth and learning. So the next time you are faced with a difficult situation, take a moment to reflect on how you are reacting to the situation, and remind yourself of the transformative power of letting go and trusting in the natural flow of your life. As Master Lao Tzu said, the world is won by those who let it go. I hope you enjoyed this video, and it helps you live a more peaceful and fulfilling life. If you find this video helpful, you will like other videos on my channel. I leave links to a few of them that I think you will enjoy, here on the screen as well as in the description. And if you found any value in this video, don't forget to subscribe, leave a thumbs up, and share it with other truth seekers and wisdom lovers around you. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. Take care.